Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the CUP Ringside, part of the Currently Unnamed Podcast Network, where you have the best seat in the house for almost all things WWE and a couple of other pro wrestling things when we feel like it. I am Brooke, and I'm passionate about pop culture, and I'm hosting because Lana is currently traveling, so Lana is not available to be here today. But you know what? I'm a good host, and I'm going to flex my chops too. Um, I am currently drinking water because I'm thirsty and hydration is very important. But if it wasn't already in a bottle, it would be in my mug. And yours can get your cup mug with the logo now on the side at laundrycreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description down below. We do ship domestically and internationally, so there are no excuses unless you currently are living elsewhere.
And who is your daddy? I am your daddy. I am Topher, the fresh dad here. Baby is away, so I will play. And just like CM Punk, the money was too good to stay away. I am going into Saudi Arabia to host predict the Night of Champions.
Yeah, so it's Night of Champions. You know, we're. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm kind of bummed that it's Night of Champions. Because, like, does this feel like Night of Champions to you, Topher? Because it certainly doesn't to me.
Well, so it's Night of Champions where every single championship is going to be on the line? No, that's not the case. Every single match is going to feature a championship? No, that's also not the case. It's just a night.
It's a bit odd. I'm kind of depressed about it because Night of Champions used to be one of those pay-per-views I would look forward to as a kid. Like, I think it was Night of Champions 2009. They had all these like big banners draped down across the stage of all the championships, and it just felt so epic and so huge. And like, I understand that, we have to do certain names in the Saudi shows because they only have certain names that they are like okay with. And like there are certain names that they don't want to just like throw on a big pay-per-view if people don't watch it, But it's not stopping them from going over to Saudi Arabia for the Rumble next year. 1. 2, why are we using Night of Champions? Because last year when we had the tournament, the King and the Queen of the Ring tournaments, it was King and Queen of the Ring.
Right. And it's like, Crown Jewel is like right there, but nope, we're not doing Crown Jewel in Saudi. We're doing it in Australia.
Apparently.
Nothing makes sense.
It's just kind of weird. That's all. It's just weird. Yeah, so it's gonna definitely be one of those weird things for me with Night of Champions this year, where we're just gonna have to get used to it and like deal with it. Again, I don't know why we're not keeping King and Queen of the Ring around as a pay-per-view name. I like that name, but here we are.
I like the name and I like the concept. You don't have to have like the tournament all taking place in one night. It makes it make more sense. I like the fact that there are actual stakes, you know what I mean? Like the King and Queen of the Ring get to go face their respective champions at SummerSlam. It's like a nice, it could be an annual thing that builds that I think we would all be on board with. But nope, alas, here we are, the Night of Champions. The 2 Nights of Champions, really, because SmackDown is subtitled SmackDown's Night of Champions. Continued.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, congratulations, Julia. Yay. I'm thrilled about that. Love you, Zelina. Love you, but I love Julia too. But yeah, so we're coming into Night of Champions. We got 6 matches on the card tonight. As a friendly reminder, for those of my people at home and the fellow peasants that do grace themselves on this channel from time to time, I will be putting my crown upon the line at this pay-per-view. So either you guys are going to have to deal with another year of me being insufferable and have to hail me as I come into the pay-per-view, or somebody else is going to take it. It'll either be me, Lon, or Topher, because we're the only people who submitted predictions. So, are you ready to get into the show, Topher?
Let's get into it.
There
I went.
I hit the wrong one. There we go. So Night of Champions this year. We just put the matches in order. Also, Lana made the slideshow, so thank you very much, Lana. But we're gonna start with Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. I'm thrilled, one, that Karrion Kross is getting a singles match on pay-per-view. When's the last time that happened?
Has it ever happened?
I think he had one match with like Bobby Lashley in like 2022.
Okay.
And other than that, I can't remember it ever happening.
Yeah,
but yeah, Sami and Karrion, I mean, this has been going on for a while. Pre-WrestleMania, really. Is this the blow-off? Is this the starting point? Is this the mythical Sami Zayn heel turn? I don't know, but I'm happy it's happening.
I am so intrigued by the Karrion Kross storyline, and I also love that he's pushing Sami Zayn to the brink of insanity by being like, you're never going to be a champion. You're never going to be a champion. And I think that this should kick off, hopefully, what could potentially be a monster Sami Zayn. We've seen Sami Zayn as like a silly heel. We've seen him as like a hero underdog babyface. I want to see Sami Zayn with some edge to him. Not Adam Copeland, but like, you know, a sharp edge to him.
But that's not his name anymore. He's Cope now, remember?
Oh, Cope, yes, well.
Yeah. I'm of two minds with this match. On the one hand, I would love for Karrion Kross to actually win a match, right? But on the other hand, I would love for Sami to win this match and to go down that path and be the heel that I know he can be. Because would they? The question I have is, would they turn Sami Zayn heel in Saudi Arabia? That's just where I'm at with it. I don't know. Personally, I'm leaning towards no. And that's what's got me a little indecisive here. Because on the one hand, Sami winning this match seems like the perfect fit on paper. But on the other hand, if we want to keep this whole Cross devil's advocate, like that whole energy going on, I think it just makes perfect sense for Karrion to win this match and like send Sami Zayn a little bit more down the, oh my God, I can't win by being this nice dude thing anymore. So I'm personally hella indecisive as to which of these two I think is winning this match.
Yeah, I will. I am gonna say that I think that Karrion Kross is going to win and walk away with the championship. No, that's not. There's no championship on the line for this match. But I do think Karrion Kross is going to win this match. I think it's better for the story. I think it's better for Karrion because it's kind of getting to that point where it's like, okay, we need to, like, you know, we're in act 1 of a 3-act story with Karrion Kross, and I think like a lot of us are just itching to run to the restroom. So we need the act to break. So we need something to happen, and I think Karrion winning. I'm also going to be watching very closely to see if Karrion Kross takes any flat back bumps, because apparently that's a thing that he can't do. So.
Okay, hold on. I need to challenge the internet here, okay? One, Karrion Kross will take a flat bump frequently, but the crazy thing about this is people seem to forget that his finisher involves him taking a flat bump every time. Like, literally every time. Also, you know who else didn't take flat back bumps for like 25 years? Ric Flair. Literally did not take them. Did not take them from the time he got in his plane crash until the day he retired, right? He landed them on his side every time. So if someone can become a 16 with an asterisk times world champion, I think we're okay with Karrion Kross taking his bumps a little differently than everybody else. Kross is just really compelling. When you get cheered, when you're facing Sami Zayn in Saudi Arabia, he's over. I'm sorry. We need to admit it. He's over.
Yep.
So with that, it's a tough call. It's a tough call. I am going to also go with Karrion Kross. I think it makes more sense to have Sami lose in front of a crowd that's going to be really sympathetic and really wanting him to succeed. Because I think, one, you can finally give Kross a reason to be back on Raw and like in title pictures and like doing things again. But also, we need Sami Zayn to get pushed over the edge, and I think losing is going to push him over the edge. So I'm picking Kross as well. And Lana will be picking Sami Zayn. And you know what, Lana? I cannot fault you for that one. I can see both sides on this one. Alrighty. So moving on. In the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament, we have Jade Cargill for SmackDown versus Asuka for Raw. Also, I've missed you so much, Asuka. Yay.
I felt that too. When Asuka made her return into the Fatal 4-Way, and it's like this is what the weird being a wrestling fan sometimes is like being in a time capsule, because like even though time moves forward in reality, but like time watching wrestling never moves forward. And when Asuka came back, and it's like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe it's been over a year. I was very, very happy and felt very like I finally got a thirst of water that I had been missing when she came back on the screen.
Yeah, I was really happy to see her. I really love seeing Asuka. Asuka's one of my goats of pro wrestling, male or female, so having her here makes me very happy. I also like Jade Cargill quite a bit. So that then comes the question of, okay, is Jade winning this match to fight Tiffany, or is Asuka winning this match to fight Io? And again, I think Triple H has actually done a really good job of building this final of this tournament, because I think both of those matches could happen at SummerSlam.
I think both of those matches may still happen at SummerSlam, regardless of the results of this match. I think the hype behind Asuka versus Io is going to be bigger, and I think it's an easier story to tell with Asuka winning. And I think that with all the love in the world to Jade has a lot of career ahead of her. I think Asuka needs these big moment and these big match victories, just because she deserves it. And I'm gonna put my hat on Asuka for this one.
See, the crazy stat about Asuka is, outside of the IC and US titles, which have been around for a cup of coffee, Asuka, if I am correct, has won every other thing available to women in this company. Everything else. She has won the Rumble. She's won Money in the Bank. She's won both world titles. She's won the women's tag belt, NXT women's champion. Again, we're not going to count the North American title because that wasn't around when she was in NXT, right? She's done everything, right? And I think if you really want to put that cherry on top of this career, I don't know how else you could do that. On the flip side of that, I could also see this being one of those moments where Jade wins the tournament. She has that match with Tiffany. She beats Tiffany, and then Naomi cashes in on her and wins the world title. I think they need to wait and hold off on that, because I don't want us to immediately go into Jade and Naomi again. I feel like we're just now getting away from it. So going back into it so soon, it feels like it's a little too rushed for me. So for me, I'm also going to be picking Asuka, because I can tell you right now, Triple H is chomping at the bit to book Asuka versus Io Sky for a world title.
Yes. That's a main event anywhere in the world, and it should be a main event for SummerSlam.
And it has been a main event in Japan.
There we go.
And once again, Topher, the two of us are differing in opinion with Lana. Lana will be picking Jade Cargill in this match.
Oh.
I can see it. It's not one of those picks I'm like, you're delusional. I can definitely see it. But
I just go off of what I think the biggest, what's the biggest marquee that you can put on without having a build to it. And I feel like Asuka versus Io, like immediately following this match, boom, the Asuka versus Io graphic shows, and I'll have immediate hype. I don't know if I'll feel that for Tiffany versus Jade.
Yeah, I was actually, the interesting part about this bracket for me is that I feel like the women's tournament has been booked so well. And when we talk about the men's tournament, we're going to have to talk about that final being a bit, in my opinion, a bit easier to call. Speaking of easy to call, I present to you the U.S. title match at Night of Champions this year, as all gas, no brakes, Jacob Fatu will be defending the United States Championship against I love you, Solo Sikoa. Sorry, I hate you, Solo Sikoa.
I think they pulled the trigger on this match happening so soon. I mean, I know it's Night of Champions or whatever, but give Jacob a just feed him anybody that he can have a excellent, strong showing against, and then give us this at SummerSlam. Like, where do you go from here once this happens? I guess maybe a rematch at SummerSlam, but I just think that I don't know. I'm excited for this match. This is a very good match that's going to happen, but I just feel like it's happening too soon. So I pick Fatu.
Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely think this match is happening really early. I think they should have waited a little bit longer. But I will also say, if this is Jacob wins this match and then we go into Tribal Combat at SummerSlam, which I could definitely see them doing, I'm not mad at that. I think this is definitely one of those matches, these feuds that could get stretched over 2 pay-per-views, and it wouldn't be a hugely big deal to me. Jacob has already had a pretty fun run with the U.S. title at this point. That Fatal 4-Way last couple pay-per-views ago was really fun. He's been so entertaining on SmackDown. Again, Jacob was definitely the best part of the new Bloodline for me. Yeah. So seeing him get this breakout opportunity and giving him the chance to like run with the ball a little bit before his inevitable push into the main event, I'm really excited for that. I feel bad for Solo because this is something we've talked about for Solo for a couple of years now, which is that he's a good wrestler. He's okay on the mic. He's funny, but they don't really ever let him do anything outside of this role they've already cast him in. And it makes it really hard to connect with him. This is the chance. I feel like if you want to let Solo break off from this character that you had to put him in for the Bloodline to begin with, I think now is the time. But I still think Jacob needs to win this match no matter what.
Absolutely. I need Jacob is the breakout star. Solo has a lot of potential, and I think they can use this to help build Solo, but Jacob is the breakout star. I'm all for this. This is a very exciting matchup on paper and in reality. So let's go Fatu. Fatu is my favorite current superstar, by the way, of like up and comers. Like I have tiers of favoritism, and like the category that Fatu fits in, he is my favorite.
See, I totally see where you're coming from. In this house, we stand Nathan Frazier and Axiom, but I get you. And also, Lana will also be picking Jacob Fatu.
Really? Lana is picking against Solo Sikoa.
She's picking a Samoan, though. She can do that if she's picking another Samoan. She's a Bloodline girly, but sometimes she has to pick between her Bloodline boys. Right. So next up, we have Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight. This is happening for reasons. I'm still kind of confused as to why this happens so fast. Because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, this kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, so Raquel cost Rhea her Fatal 4-Way match in the King of the Ring tournament, and Rhea cost Raquel her Fatal 4-Way match in the King of the Ring tournament, and Liv is out with an injury, so street fight.
I'm excited for this. In terms of, I like a good street fight. Street fights are fun. And also, it's a women's street fight, which usually they don't book them as street fights. They usually call them Extreme Rules, or like some other term that's not a street fight. The only other women's street fight I can think of offhandedly is like Victoria and Trish from all those years ago. The one where Victoria hit Trish with the chair the wrong way. Yeah. Was that Victoria and Trish?
That was Victoria and Trish, yeah.
Yeah. But that was ages ago. So I'm excited for this. I think these two are both going to bring some really fun stuff. And also street fights let you kind of just go a little crazy, and it doesn't always mean your wrestling styles have to match really well. So in this matchup of powerhouse versus powerhouse, it doesn't have to be a perfect 1-to-1. I might be crazy. And Topher, you feel free to call me crazy. I think Raquel needs to win this match. Because I think, and the rumors have been swirling, that Roxanne is going to be replacing Liv as Raquel's tag team partner for the next little bit, at least for the time being. Cool. I get it. Makes sense to me. I think we need to boost Raquel up while these tag titles are being moved over, because if we don't, where does that put Raquel when she goes to team with Roxanne? Because you can't not have Roxanne help her in a match with no DQs Like, Roxanne kind of has to help out here. And because of that, are we either going to, once again, cheapen the women's tag team champions, or are we going to actually let them do something? Now, based on this company's track record, the answer is very clearly cheapen them at the cost of up-and-coming stars. But I think maybe this one time, and I could be crazy, Triple H might actually think with his brain and let Raquel win this match with assistance from Roxanne Perez.
Yeah. Raquel needs to win on several fronts, one of which you just mentioned, and the other, because Raquel needs a big win. I think a lot of times Raquel has been, Raquel is overshadowed by Liv Morgan, rightfully so, because Liv Morgan is a supernova. But Raquel has always sort of fallen short in any sort of big match capacity. Rhea does not need this win. Rhea winning would just be a feel-good win that does nothing for either one of their careers or stories. So I think Rhea is going through the Slim Jim table, and Raquel Rodriguez is going to be standing tall in the street fight.
Yeah, I personally just don't see a reason for Rhea to win. Although, to be fair, I don't see a reason for Rhea to win. Has never stopped Triple H before. So, true. So we're picking Raquel. Lana is picking Rhea. And you know what, Lana? Based on who's booking the show, I can't fault you for that.
Eat, sleep, breathe. The demons in our dreams.
Yeah, truly. So moving on, we have our King of the Ring tournament finals between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. They're giving us this match with minimal stakes, and I'm kind of mad.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I was trying to explain this to my wife. I was like, because we were watching Cody Rhodes versus Jey Uso, which was an incredible, fun match to watch. And like, I'm like, on one hand, like, it feels predictable that Cody's going to win, right? But on the other hand, I'm like, are they really just going to like give us Cody versus Randy without like a build? Like, these two should not touch until WrestleMania. These two are like a WrestleMania 44 main event, bar none. Like, what are we doing? But alas, here we are.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me because I know everyone's being like, oh yeah, Cody's going to win this match. He's going to go fight John, yada, yada, yada. And I get you. I see you. I feel where you're coming from. Let me twist this the other direction. What if Randy wins this match and fights Gunther?
Yeah.
I remember the King of the Ring finals last year. I remember that match vividly. I remember the rematch at SummerSlam last year. Not SummerSlam, whatever pay-per-view was after SummerSlam last year. Yeah, it was really good. Both of those matches were great. And I'm telling you, I could see a world where Randy Orton wins this match and goes to fight Gunther at SummerSlam. Because it will be Gunther. It will not be Goldberg. Don't get that twisted. It will be Gunther.
I think you're right. I mean, I feel that, for in an effort to like win the contest, I'm going to pick Cody Rhodes here as my winner pick. But I like this, where you're going with this. I like this idea of Randy Orton winning this match, especially because you can get into Cody's head that way. I think there's a deeper story to tell of like, yes, we're being thrown this match, but what if like Cody just missteps and loses to the wily veteran that is Randy Orton, who brought him into this world, showing that even though Randy Orton taught Cody Rhodes everything Cody knows, he did not teach him everything Randy knows. And I think there's a bigger story to tell, which sends Cody on a new path of redemption, because it's like now Cody starts to question himself. It's the hero's journey. You couldn't beat John Cena, and now you can't even beat Randy Orton. Not to lessen Randy Orton, but now you didn't beat Randy Orton. Like, you can beat all these new folks that come here. You got the whole world rally behind you to beat Roman Reigns, and you finally did that on your second try. But now when you're going up against actual stars, you're losing, buddy. You're second fiddle. It's a better story.
The really interesting thing about Cody, if you look at his title run, right, everybody that Cody beat while he was champion was a newer name, right?
Yep.
He never ran it back with some of these older people that had been there during his first run of the company that I can recall, right? And it's really interesting to analyze that, because one can make the argument that Cody Rhodes is just a main eventer in today's WWE, and he would still be a mid-carder in 2014, right?
Wow.
Now, granted, I'm not saying Cody should be a mid-carder. Don't get it twisted. But, like, there is a story to tell there. I think the other story that can be told here is pretty simple. Cody is doubting himself. Where does he go from here? I don't need Cody and John immediately, right? And I also don't think we should get Cody and John immediately because we just had the tag match at Money in the Bank. And we also had the match at Mania. I want it to chill a little bit longer. Now, you can still have the match happen at SummerSlam, but I don't need the 6 to 8 weeks worth of promos building into this match because we all know it's going to happen again at some point, right? We can all feel it.
Right.
I think the easier way to go about the better way to go about it is have Cody find another way to get that match because there is no way we are having 2 nights at SummerSlam without both world titles getting defended.
Correct.
So I am going to go out on a limb here because this is a big event to me and I want to take a risk that may net me a win. And I'm going to be picking Randall Keith. And also,
if that happens,
also, it's the same thing we mentioned about Asuka. Randy has done everything else. He has won the Rumble. He has won Money in the Bank. He's won the Rumble twice. He's won every belt, all of them. Every single title that can be won, it has been won by Randy Orton except King of the Ring.
Now, can we take a stop back real quick to talk about how absurd they made the King of the Ring tournament by doing like fatal 4-ways into a semifinal? We just want to skip over. You have 16 names. What are we doing here? Like,
I think this was a last minute decision. Honestly, I think they forgot how big of a deal they made King and Queen of the Ring last year, and then when they realized, like, oh crap, we didn't do that this year yet. And SummerSlam's coming up, we kind of have to. I'm not mad at this happening again. I think it was good. I think given the time constraints they had for these matches, it was the best option they had. I'm bitter about a couple things. One, I'm bitter that Jey Uso was in this tournament.
Yeah.
The week after he lost the world title. I'm bitter that Cody Rhodes made it to the final, to be honest. Nothing against Cody. I just like it when someone loses a belt and then they have to struggle their way back to the top instead of just automatically still being a winning winner who wins things, right? That loss should still be bothering him.
Right.
And the fact that it's not, that kind of bugs me a little bit. I would have loved for this final to have been Ron Killings and Randy Orton. I think that would have been fantastic. Because technically, Ron Killings is still a Raw superstar as far as the draft goes. So, I don't know. I could have seen it. I'm a little irritated with the situation. We do know there is a draft coming up. That's been confirmed. I think it's after SummerSlam, but it might be after this show. So, we'll see how everybody shakes up after that. But I'm going to be picking Randy, and I will say Lana also did pick Cody.
Okay.
Lana picking Cody Rhodes is interesting.
You can't falter for it though. I mean, it's a good pick. It's because it's an obvious one. I really like the idea of Randy winning this match because again, goes to what you said that Cody should not be winning everything just because he came back. He's got to struggle. This is a struggle. I'm so excited for this match. I'm so excited for this match. This is a match not deserving of Saudi Arabia. No disrespect to the Saudi audience that we have here at the CUP Ringside. This is a match that is like this is the SummerSlam main event. How do you do this? How does this happen? I do love the story though. I love that they're playing into it. If you want to face me, then you have to be a hypocrite, right? And you know, I didn't need CM Punk to go full hypocrite. I loved the John Cena pipe bomb. Gave me goosebumps. I love what Punk is doing tonight on SummerSlam. Oh, what's it? You're muted?
Hi, Claudio Castagnoli. my nickname is I'm Matt Cardona. How you doing?
Right. Like crazy. Like it was so much fun. So this is a really, really good match on paper that I am so excited to have happen. And I think that it's very possible. This is where I think your theory, maybe, I think we could get a triple threat match at SummerSlam because Triple H loves triple threats or multi-people matches just in general. And I think this is where Cody ends up fitting in, a three-way with these two and Cody. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to end up happening here. I really feel I want CM Punk to win so bad. So bad.
Okay, this is my big problem with heel John Cena, right? I want him to do something else before he's gone. And I don't really feel like they have enough time to go, John Cena is a 17-time world champion, and yet he still hasn't hit the Grand Slam. Still isn't a Triple Crown, right? Like, there are things that John Cena hasn't done that I would love to see him do. I don't really care that much about him winning King of the Ring. That's whatever. But, like, John has done a lot of things. He's never held the Intercontinental title. And I know Cena might be like, oh, that belt's beneath me. I want him to address it on television. Like, I want to hear him talk about it. Because for a guy that's riding off into the sunset in 18, 17 shows, I don't know what the counter's at this point. Someone's made a website for it, I'm sure. But, we don't have much time left with John. And I would love to see him have that struggle one more time of going out with a different belt. I just don't think they're going to do it. And I think they're just going to keep him here until his last match, where in Cena's last match, he passes the torch to insert babyface flavor of the month here and or Cody Rhodes. And that's fine. That's okay. But I would also like John Cena to lose this match. I think there was a world where you could have had John Cena lose in his last defense. I think an even better way to go about this is have John Cena get cashed in on by Seth Rollins and have Seth Rollins win this belt at Night of Champions. Because I don't think it should be cashed in for the World Heavyweight title. I've been there done that with Seth Rollins with the World Heavyweight title.
Oh, goodness. You just gave me...
I think Seth cashing in Money in the Bank here makes more sense to me, because then I get Seth and Punk. And I'll be honest, that is the most interesting Seth Rollins has been in years to me. So I like the idea of Cena losing the belt, not because he got beat, but because he got cashed in on again for the 900th time. John Cena has cashed in on him.
I agree. I think that John Cena or Seth Rollins cashing in on John Cena, costing Punk the championship, right? Like Punk's about to win it and then costs Punk the championship, is so beautiful because it screws Punk out of the championship by Seth Rollins, which is great. And then it also, oh God, that is really the last time that John Cena, well, not the last time, but one of the times that John Cena tried to break Ric Flair's record was when he went up against Seth Rollins, and he failed to do so at SummerSlam. Seth Rollins has a couple of victories on John Cena, and I feel that you can insert Seth Rollins into this picture here. Oh man, SummerSlam is going to be just one giant fatal four-way match. Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk.
I can see it. I can see it. I also don't know if WWE is going to let CM Punk win a world title in Saudi Arabia. Here we are. I'll be honest. I think the best way for this match to end is Punk winning and then getting cashed in on by Seth Rollins. Kind of echo a little bit of that Jeff Hardy sentiment that we had all those years ago when Jeff beat Edge and then Punk cashed in on him.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure where they're going to go with it. So I'm kind of debating here. I will say Lana picked John, and I cannot fault her for that.
Well, Seth's got to cash in on somebody because he doesn't have a custom briefcase. So it's either happening now or it's happening at Saturday Night's Main Event. That's my theory. But this would be that's such a good story. I like that. I don't know. This is the match that I've been waiting to see ever since John Cena and CM Punk were both back in WWE. It's like, this is the money match. This is the match of the summer, you know? Almost like, 13 years to be exact. What was it? 2012, right? The
2011 was Punk Bryan, yeah. So it was 2012. Yeah.
2012, yeah. And like, for it to be a similar story, I can't wait to watch the video package. I think that's going to be the best thing of the night.
You know what they need to do? This needs to be one of those times where they give a package a song that plays over all the clips, yes. Right? Like, I'm thinking of like Running Up That Hill when they did it with Michaels and Undertaker all those years ago.
Yep. Or like, you had more recently Perfect Celebrity, but this is like My Way with Limp Bizkit at the Rock versus Austin.
Yeah.
That would be a good one.
I'm going to pick Punk against my better judgment. I think the way my brain is at is I think Seth is cashing in. I think it is time. Seth Rollins does not need to have that briefcase forever. And I also think that it just makes the most sense for Seth to cash in here. Because John cannot be world champ forever.
No.
Right? He cannot be world champ when he retires. It will not work. And I think they know that in the backs of their minds. What other way for John Cena to lose a world championship than to get cashed in on Money in the Bank? But I think the better way is for Punk to beat him and then Seth cash in on Punk.
I agree. I think John needs to lose to somebody that is not Cody Rhodes. Because if he loses to Cody Rhodes, what was this whole year about? You know what I mean? It feels like pointless. But if he loses to CM Punk, who then loses to Seth Rollins, it's a better transition. And
I'm also in the mindset of maybe this is going to be the time where, because in my brain, I think we're going to have the world title switch brands, and the WWE title is going to go to Raw, and the world title is going to go to SmackDown. Because one, you tell me Netflix doesn't want the WWE title on their show,
right?
I bet they do. And I think also if SmackDown, if Randy wins King of the Ring, which I think he might. Having Big Gunther at SummerSlam, the world title switch brands, Mary Chrysler. There you go. It's that easy.
Or John Cena cashes in and wins an 18th world title.
No. Please, God, no. Well, Topher, what's your pick here?
Yeah, I'm going with CM Punk because I want so badly for CM Punk to win this match. I have to go with I can never bet against Punk. He is my guy. I hated him when he was in AEW because I felt like he was just like a sellout and would do anything for money and was coming in and was bashing everything. But the second he came back to WWE, he's been my number one guy. I'm so glad he's back in my life.
I'm happy he's back too. So, in recap, everybody, for Night of Champions, our overall predictions are for Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Topher and myself both picked Kross. Lana has picked Sami Zayn. Also, Lana sent all of her predictions in. I want to make that clear. We're not just saying Lana picks whoever. She sent a list of her predictions into us before we recorded. Then we have Jade Cargill and Asuka. Topher and I both pick Asuka. Lana has picked Jade Cargill. For Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa for the United States Championship, all members of the CUP have picked Jacob Fatu. For Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez, Topher and myself have both picked Raquel. Lana has picked Rhea. For Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament, Lana and Topher have both picked Cody. I have picked Randy. And in the main event for the WWE Championship, John Cena versus CM Punk, Lana has picked John, and Topher and I have picked Chicago Phil here on this evening. Yeah, there we go. Those are your predictions for Night of Champions this year. Topher, do you have any closing thoughts before we head out of here?
Yeah, listen, it's controversial to say the least that they're performing in Saudi Arabia, especially so soon to current events, but they're doing it nonetheless. The upside is a 1:00 premium live event. I love a Saturday afternoon. super show. So get that done and over with. Nice thing to watch on my Saturday. It'll be a good time. And yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, I'm excited too. As much as I wish this partnership would end, and I hope it ends soon, to be honest with you, it really bothers me this is still going on. And I hope that all the wrestlers stay safe as they go over there. It is a very dicey area at the moment. Excuse me. But I am excited for the show. I'm really excited to see where things go. And I'm excited to once again have a crown on my head after the show for another year. Thank you very much, peasants. So if I do not have the honor of gracing you as your queen for another year, I must say before I depart from the crowd, it has been a lovely reign as the queen of the CUP Ringside. And I will miss my crown for about 3 hours until the show is over. So thank you so much for all of my loyal subjects watching at home. Thank you very much. So those are our predictions for Night of Champions this year. Let us know in the comments down below. Who do you guys think is going to be walking out as king and or queen of the ring? Will Punk finally win a world title after being back in the company for almost 2 years? Will Randy finally win King of the Ring? Let us know down below. What are you guys thinking? Will Raquel Rodriguez win a match on pay-per-view? Who knows? Why should I don't know who's a funny person? Why should Joaquin Wilde be on pay-per-view this show? Let us know in the comments down below. And of course, if you guys have any questions for us, any comments, anything else you want to leave down below, we'd love to see that as well. While you're here, please make sure to subscribe. It does help the channel out so much. You get to see all of our stuff. You get to see our recap happening on Monday. Might be airing on Tuesday though for Night of Champions. So let us know. Just hit that big red button so we can see where you guys are at, because we love having more of you here. We are on a mission across all of our channels to get as many subscribers as we possibly can this year, specifically 1,000 on the bigger channels. Anybody and everybody here is welcome at the CUP Ringside, so we'd love to have you. And if there's anything you'd like to hear us talk about, tell us. We'll talk about it. We have no qualms. You can listen to Topher rant about how much he hated TNA in the year 2009.
Wait, the main event mafia? Really?
Perfect timing, actually. That was 2009. Yeah, so let us know down below. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure to get your merch at LoungeCreations.com. And thank you guys so much. So, stop watching this video and go watch another video. See everybody. Bye.
Night.
Cheers.